Okay, welcome everybody to our third day of Gmail. And let's see, what is today's date? The 29th, May 29th, here in sunny Las Vegas. What's the temperature supposed to be here today?
About 198.
Okay, so just under 100. And it's pretty clear and not really windy outside, right?
Correct.
Okay, it's supposed to be 99 and clear but without a lot of wind. So I imagine the weather's nice in California too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so Gmail, as we said at the beginning of the week, Gmail was Google's second application. What was the first one?
The search engine.
Search, right, Google Search. And at that time, everybody, Hotmail, Yahoo, AOL, everybody was getting into what? What did they have? Email, exactly. So everybody was doing email, so Google did email. Does anybody remember when Gmail was invitation only? Yeah, initially it was you had to be invited. And if you got invited, then you could invite 5 more people. Yeah, so that's how they did it. And it was, I think you got 1 gigabyte or 2 gigabytes of storage. And then after introducing Gmail, then they started doing other apps that made sense. Maps, if you're going to do search, you might as well have a map. How about a calendar? How about Drive? How about, well, why don't we add Word? Got one of your microphones a little bit loud, Crystal. There we go. So they started adding other applications. What Google did that was unique is they made all of the applications work with all of the other Google applications. So you had a suite of applications. Now most people here, how many people here used Gmail before here? 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4 people used Gmail before. And how many people use Google Calendar or any of the other apps? So even though 4 people used Gmail and Search, of course everybody uses Google Search. But as you went on to more apps, fewer and fewer people use them. So that means we don't know how to use them. They sound cool, but we don't know how to use them. And what I would say is for your future employment, the better you know how to use all of the Google apps, the more value you have. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, it's like, again, golf clubs. I've been told don't talk about golf because people don't know how to play golf. So I'm going to talk about, imagine you have a toolbox and you have different tools in there. You have wrenches, you have screwdrivers, you have pliers, you have all of these things. And as Nolan Bushnell said, quoted somebody else, I don't remember who said it first, maybe somebody can do a Google search, but it was, if your only tool is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. Okay? So the more tools you know how to use, the more productive you can be. If all you know how to do is use a hammer, you're not going to be able to do very much. But if you know how to use a hammer and a screwdriver and a wrench and pliers and a level and a saw and a plane and a chisel and all of these things, the more tools you can use, the better. And that's what we're trying to do here. So today we're going to really spend hopefully most of the time talking about how Gmail interfaces with the other Google applications. But first, since we just watched Contacts, how does everybody in LA feel about understanding Google Contacts?
Everyone feels good, and they're shaking their head yes.
Okay, because there was a lot of confusion here. So let's start with the first question. How do you add somebody to your contact list in California? Victoria, do you want to answer that one?
Add.
How?
I said hit add contact.
How do you add people to your contact list? What's one way?
I go to their name, I hit the add button.
And enter an email address.
Good, thank you.
Okay, so walk me through it. Tell me where I start. I just gave you my business card. How do you add me to contacts?
Go to Gmail. Go to
Company-
contact.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. What?
I said you go to Gmail,
Okay.
and has a drop down for contacts,
Okay, good.
and you hit contacts.
Okay, then what?
Well,
I'm
right
in contacts.
here, so
Little finger of a man trust.
there's a little finger with a plus on it says add to my contacts,
Okay.
and then you can type in an email address.
Okay, then what?
Pardon?
Then what do I do?
Go home?
Okay. Then what? Okay. So who has another way to add a contact? So that's one way to do it. That's right. You go into contacts and you just push the add button. You type in their email address. You hit enter. Then you can come back and click on their name. A box pops up. And you can fill in all of the rest of their stuff. Their phone number, address, birthday, any URL they have. You can add a note. There's all kinds of things. You can add their picture. There's all kinds of things you can do. That's if you start with a piece of paper and you just have their email address. Okay, so how about if I have an email from somebody, how do I add their contact list? Who's got something here? So I'm going to go to my Gmail. And I'm going to go to my inbox. And let's see, I have an email here from Carla.
Click the box and then go to add my contacts. Add
Click
to
the
my
box. What's the box?
The
Well, you
box
can
next to
reply.
my name.
If you reply, as soon as you reply to their email,
Wait a second. Let me go back to quick. Okay, so I've got this Carla email. What do I do, Jim?
Click on the box right there.
Okay.
And now just go up to add to contacts.
Where's that?
Right up above where all your emails are.
Okay.
You
Where
don't
does it
have
say
it.
add to contacts?
As soon as I clicked on it.
in Gmail,
Are you in?
I'm in Gmail.
Yeah, it does if you go to contacts. Go to the Gmail thing. Go to your inbox.
Oh, I didn't.
No, so you gotta go to
I'm sorry, I was under contacts when I did that.
Okay, so so the question is, I'm in email. I received an email from Carla. I want to add her to my contacts. So what do I do?
reply
Go
to
to
her
Gmail.
email.
So I open the email. I open the email. I want to reply.
Gotta hit the arrow at the top.
Okay, so I'm now replying. Now what?
And then you hit
Send her a message.
send.
They get the capture. Wait, if you don't want to do all that though, if you go to the thing that says Gmail with the arrow next to it, click down, you go to
My
contacts.
Gmail with the arrow.
Just down over, all the way over.
Left of where your
Over.
mouse is. You can't say over yet. Say over to the left
Over
or over
to
to the
the-
right.
Left.
Okay. Over here.
Yeah, on that arrow where it says Gmail at the top there.
Yeah.
Right there. Click on that, go to contacts,
Okay.
boom. Now pick the email you just had and make him a contact.
Well, I don't have that email.
No email, he's in the contact.
How does he? Oh, because he didn't send the reply, I'm sorry. I chimed in at the wrong moment.
Okay.
My sincere apologies.
So I will go back to Gmail.
Wait, this is silly.
Okay. So I have replied. I'm going to hit send.
Director,
Yeah.
are you go to Gmail, push the contact button,
Yeah.
and then you'll have it on your screen. You'll see more in the little guide with the plus. It says add to my contacts.
Next.
Yeah, next more button.
And I thought you said, am I in contacts or
You
Gmail?
know, you go to Gmail, and then you go to new contact. You hit the contact button.
Up here?
Yeah.
New contacts underneath that.
Then you go to the new contact, and then you type in the name of the person who just sent you the email,
Okay, that's one way to do it.
and then
Okay.
it goes into
Okay.
your contacts.
So that's one way to do it. Okay. Who's got another way?
Ed,
Yes.
Fernando has another way.
Okay, when you go to the email
Yep.
where it says reply, right next to it, there's a drop-down arrow. If you click on that, it'll give you the option to add a contact.
Okay.
Name's too long. Let's do it.
You have to scroll over.
I got it a different way.
I think it's the arrow, drop down.
Reply on top.
And I get
California.
guide to contact list. I
Okay,
found
don't see
it
that.
right here, this drop down right there.
It says more when you hover over it.
Oh, more.
No,
Right, so wait.
no.
So
right
Fernando, I'm in, I click on, I open the email.
Tony.
Yes, you open your the specific mail.
Not that drop down.
On the top right, there's a reply arrow.
Yeah.
No.
Right next to it, there's a drop-down arrow, and it says more when you hover over it.
Down there to say add contact.
Yeah.
Now click on it, and it'll give you the menu.
Okay, so I see filter, print, delete, report, show, message, translate.
Mine says
Mark.
add
Okay.
add to contact.
Jody?
It says add, and then it has the person's either email address or name, and it says to contact list.
Okay. So let's see. Let me look at something.
Oh, that was a reply. That was automatic.
Yeah, this is where we plot right
Somebody sent you an email. You hit your contact, there's a body with a plus on it right there that says add to my contacts.
This is your.
Oh, yeah, put it on the contact. I shouldn't get it.
Add to contact list.
Oh.
And okay. Good. So that is a good way. The reason I couldn't do it, the reason it didn't show up on my screen was because I had just added Carla already.
Okay.
I was looking at the same email. So I went to a different email, and it's very easy to do it that way. Who knows another way?
I do.
Okay, what is that one?
I went to inbox and I clicked on the one I wanted.
Okay.
Click on any ones.
Why did you say that when I said?
You open it up. And then I drag my thing up there across their email name, across their email address, and copied it, and then dragged it to.
Personally, I don't have a lot of real emails. So you're saying you went here.
Yeah, right there it says notify, right there. And I copied it,
Yeah.
and then I went to new content. I went over to, right over there,
Okay, so
Gmail.
that, yeah, but that's too
That's the
convoluted.
old list.
Okay,
Directory.
so
Really?
yes.
Just got dragged
You
it.
just go to your
Can't you
email,
also
put
copy
your
and paste?
browser,
Okay, one person at a time.
put your browser on the person who sent you the email, and then like you pop up here, there's contact information.
Okay, so right, so Fred has got probably the easiest, fastest way to do it.
Then you hit that and hit add.
So the way to do it is if you, I'll start with opening an email. If you put your pointer over the person's name who sent it to you, a box will pop open.
Right.
And there will be a little box where you can have their picture in there. To the left of that, it says plus, and it has an outline, and it says add an invite. Now that is to circles. That's not to your contact list. That's to circles. But if you look right below that, what does it say?
Add contact.
Add to contacts. Okay? So if you then click on that,
Add to contact.
Then it pulls up the full contact thing. So here's the point. There's many ways to do things in contacts.
Got it.
There are some ways that are very, very easy. Also, you remember that Anson said if you get an email, it's always stored. They're automatically in other contacts. So whenever you receive an email from somebody, it's going to add them to other contacts. It's just going to have maybe their name and their email address, and from there you can add more information. What I want to stress is the importance of keeping your contact list updated. Okay, it is vitally important. So at the end of today's assignment, I put down there, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Whoever has the most contacts in a good format that has them taken care of is going to win. It's like gardening. You know, whoever has the biggest garden, as long as it's maintained, is going to win. Who has the biggest net, as long as it's maintained, is going to win. If you have a large net but there's a huge hole in it, how good is the net? It's not good at all.
I have a question.
Yeah.
She went to my social and email and put and added me as a contact, but my supernova address came up instead of my.
Yeah, I just.
I got your
I got your supernova address on my.
Okay. Well, because that's what you're sending it from.
You guys have it in your profile.
I'm not. I'm doing everything from my Google.
Well,
It's in your profiles. It's what you guys set. Like
I set up
Tony
my
and one of
contacts
yours.
from the social, where it says where your emails are on top. It says primary,
Yeah.
social, and promotions. I use social, and I add my contacts from there.
Yeah, you don't even
And?
have my supernova.
That's it.
okay, what's the question?
No, I'm.
We've got everybody in the world waiting to hear what this question is.
No, I mean, because we were discussing other ways to add
Okay,
contacts.
here's the thing you need to know. This comes back to, you have to understand, if something isn't right, it's because you're not doing something right. Okay? If somebody has your other email address you put in there somewhere, that is your email address. Because the internet, Google is not going to go out, if you send an email from Gmail, it's not going to go out and say, here's this other email.
Yeah. You had to like check a box or something.
Okay, yes.
It's information that you put in your profile because it's all connected.
Okay, so look at your profile, Jody. So the message is go look at your profile and see what you have in your profile. Okay, but now let's move on. Let's move on, everyone. Unless California has a question, we're going to move on to some of the things we can do in Gmail. Everybody need to pay attention here. Everybody needs to pay attention here. Okay, so one of the most important, yes.
Okay, what about on Google Plus, not Gmail, but Google Plus, where it gives you suggestions on people you may know?
Yes. Okay. What
So
about
there-
that?
Well, those are people that we don't know, but we can add. We have the option of adding either on our circles,
Right?
and then getting their email address,
Yes.
making our net.
Yeah. So is the question, is it a good idea to add those people?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It is a good idea, but the thing is to make sure you put them in the appropriate circle.
Okay.
Okay, one thing I don't like, I'll let everybody know here if you pay attention for 5 seconds.
All right.
One thing I don't like is I don't like to be in circles that people post positive affirmations. Okay, I think that's a complete waste of time.
Thank you for your
So don't put me in those circles. You should have a circle of all of the people that you want to send positive affirmations to.
Positive,
Don't put me in that circle. Put me in the school circle. Okay? Keep those positive affirmation circles with everyone else. Now, I accept them and I don't kick people out of my circles because they send me positive affirmations. But so, Fernando, when you see these things of you can add this person, you should have a circle that's for people who you don't know, but maybe you should add. And then in the future, you can add them to closer and closer circles to where you are. So, for example, graphically, our lives are. Can you see this? me, right? My family, friends. What's the circle outside of friends?
Acquaintances.
Acquaintances. What's the circle outside of that?
Business contact.
Okay. And then we have more and more circles. Okay, so Fernando, what I would do is I would spend time every week going through the suggestions, and I would add people to appropriate circles. But I wouldn't add them to the me circle. I have a circle that's just for me. So if I'm on Google Plus, every morning I go on Google Plus and I look for things that are interesting. And I forward those, I repost those to me.
Yeah.
To a circle I have that's just me. Okay?
Not a big circle.
Correct. It's only, well, it's very full. My circle of me is very full. And then I have my family circle. I have a circle for Las Vegas students, Santa Fe Springs students, Long Beach students, staff, etc. I have all of these circles. So I put people in the appropriate circle, and then when I want to forward a message or repost a message, I pick the circle or circles that it should go to. So for every morning for the event and the hangout, for the event, the Google Plus event, I post it to the CLV circle, the LTC California circle, and the staff circle. 3 circles get that. So it's good to add people in from the outside, but don't put them in a circle where they're going to get stuff that they don't care about.
Wouldn't you want like work more closer to the middle of the
Well,
circle?
it's your personal circle. Some
Okay.
people, it's the job. You know, if you work at 7-Eleven, let's say you work in maintenance at Walmart.
Yeah.
Is that a close circle?
No.
Okay. So you just have to decide where you want your circles to be. But now let's go back to Gmail. And before we go back to Gmail, let's just connect these two with contacts. So again, what I'd like everybody to do is go into your email, your Gmail, find an email. Hopefully everybody's received an email from me.
Yeah.
If you received an email from me and you just put your pointer on my name, what happens?
Your picture comes up.
Okay, my picture comes up and a box comes up. Now in the lower left, does it say add to contacts?
Mine's already on contact. I put LTC staff.
Contact info and email.
And then you
Okay.
hit that.
Now if you hit contact info, what does that do?
It opens up a box that says.
Okay, so that goes to my contact page. So you can add my birthday, which is the day before the world changed. What was that day? What's the day before the world changed?
2011.
September 10th, right. September 10th.
Your birthday?
Yeah,
Day before.
September 10th, the day before the world changed. So you can add my contact information there. Now, let's go back to the email, hover over my name, the box pops up.
Don't open it. I'm sorry.
No, don't open it, just put it over my name.
Yeah.
The box pops up, and then you see the thing where you can add me to circles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay?
When you go over to LTC staff.
And at the bottom, you just.
If it says
Okay,
LTT,
so it should be like this.
if it says LTC staff, they're already in your circle.
Does add to contacts or emails, right?
Does it say circle LTC staff or does it say circle?
Okay, so here's what I'm talking
So
about.
click
See
it
this
and
box?
put
Okay, everybody pay
staff.
attention right here. You see this box? Right here. It's either going to be white and it's going to say add and invite, or it's going to be green and it's going to say the circle I'm in.
We already have my staff.
Oh, yeah.
You're my friend
Okay.
circle.
Okay, so take me out of your friend circle if you're going to send positive affirmations to your
I
friends.
put you in there.
Okay?
You put yourself in there.
I don't need positive affirmations.
Put you
in acquaintances?
No,
LTC
you're not as equal. I'm in staff.
You can put me in staff or whatever.
Or-
Friend circle.
boss.
I already got friends.
So you have to.
Don't put him in friends.
No, he's
Yeah.
already.
He's your
everyone's
director.
friend circle.
Yes, that's right. That's what I say to my kids. I'm your father, not your friend.
Your father, not your
He's our director, not our friend.
Okay? So, now, so that was a good segue on how in Gmail you add people to circles. And then once they're in your circle forever.
That's right.
Okay? You can delete them. Well, they're in your circle until you delete them. But we're not going to do Google. We're not going to do Google Plus today. So the next thing, the important thing I want to talk about is go into Gmail, open an email, open that email from me to you.
I got 3 people on staff. Edward.
And then you have a box up on the top on the right. Push on the More button.
Show details.
No. So this is above the email. So you have the email opened up like this, right? And then up here is a More button. Okay?
Marked as red.
You want it, and what I want you to do is go to click on where it says Create Event.
Mark as red.
Create event.
Now what just happened?
It says.
What? Went to the calendar.
Oh.
Okay, you see how easy that was to go from your Gmail to calendar, and it opened another tab. So you could just go to the tab to the left up on the top of the screen.
How cool.
Go to the tab to the left,
I did it.
which is your Gmail tab. So you could be back in Gmail. If you notice in the description box on your calendar, it has the text of the email in it.
Yeah.
Okay?
My calendar.
So oftentimes when you receive emails from people, there's a follow-up. What do we do next?
Press save.
What do we do next? Okay? So it could be, well, we're going to have a meeting. Or I'm going to call you back. So let's say I want to call you back.
As video call?
Okay? No. Well, first of all, I start at the top, and I change what's in the search box to whatever the event is going to be. Follow-up call, meeting, so-and-so, with the person's name. Then the next line down, I put in the date and time. Now, let's say I say to somebody, I'll send you a check next Friday. We got an email from them that says, hey, you need to pay this bill. You need to pay this bill. And I want to schedule paying the bill, and I want them to know I'm going to pay the bill. So the old way of doing it is you just send a reply. Okay, I'll pay you next Friday. Well, now I got to remember to pay them next Friday, right? Through Calendar, there's an easy way to do it. I create an event. So this would say pay bill. I put in the date I want to pay the bill, but I don't put in a time. I click on this all day button.
Yeah.
And that's going to add it to the top of my calendar for that day. It's going to be like a to-do list. Okay? And then I can fill in the rest. Here I'm going to pay this bill. Now if you look over to the right, it lists the people who the email was originally sent to. So when I save this event, that person will get an email. Friday, he's going to pay the bill. I didn't send a reply and then have to go do something else. All in one step, I pushed create event. Event got created. I created a reminder for myself. I put in whatever information down here, and I could let whoever I want to know that that's what's going to happen on that day. And then I push save and send. But let's say it's the email to me didn't say you need to pay this bill or send me a check by this date. Let's say it said blah, 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 we need to talk about this. When is a good day to talk? This is Jack. Hold on one second. Hi, Jack. See you soon. Okay, bye. Everybody, that was our employer coming in. He's going to be here a little bit late. Okay, but let's say this one said, it didn't say pay this, it said, let's talk about this. How about next Tuesday? So instead of creating an event for me to do something, like send something, I want to create an event that's a call. What is an easy choice to do in there? Video call. Okay? So if I click on video call, It says video call added. So when the person gets an invitation, it's going to say there's a video call. Well, what does video call mean in Google speak? Huh? Hangout, right. It's a hangout. So it would set up and it would send me a reminder in 10 minutes, you have a hangout with this person. Now, is that easy or what? Okay. What's the most important thing to manage, according to Marcus Aurelius? According to Marcus Aurelius.
Money.
You just think manage yourself.
Yourself, right. That's the one thing we control is ourselves. So the better we control our time, the better we can control ourselves. Okay? So we just saw here in Gmail, and unfortunately it's time to wrap it up, but we just saw here in email how from Gmail we can connect to Calendar. From Calendar we can connect to
Share video.
Share video. Now if we went down below the box, below the description box, what does it say? What's below that? No, above that. Above that.
The description
Nothing.
box.
Event color.
Add attachment.
Above the add attachments.
Where?
Right here.
It says add
Right
reminder.
below the
Attached.
description.
No, I don't have that.
I don't have that.
So that's where you add your calendar to that.
No, you don't add a calendar. You can add an attachment, a document from Drive.
A document or even a video.
You can add any kind of file. Okay, so if you don't have it, it's because the email that you opened up.
Okay, you have to go to labs. And
Yeah,
you
it
have
says,
to-
Oh,
yeah, once you add
there's-
attachment,
there's
learn
a-
how to create a
A link
lab.
on the bottom. Want to add attachments? You don't have to.
Okay, so as Dodie said, that's it. There's a box you click in Labs. So go back to Labs and you'll find that. So that's partially why we tweaked Labs yesterday. So here's the take home. Google is great because it's an all-encompassing package by a company that's not going to go away. Google keeps doing great stuff. They're doing really big stuff regarding Google Glass. And yeah, it's clunky junky right now, but in the future it won't be. So Google is good to follow. It has a comprehensive suite. They keep refining things and implementing. What we do here is give you an introduction and get you to see the value. What you need to do is what?
Learn it.
Learn it. And how do you learn it? By using it. Okay, by using it. Well, that's one way to learn. If you have somebody as a swim buddy. If you're just on your own, you just got to keep going through it, hacking your way through, struggling your way through, finding stuff, finding answers, and use it every day. In California, do you guys do a lot of Gmail?
Yes.
Okay. Do we do a lot of Gmail here?
Yeah.
We do?
No,
I think we do almost none. I think we do a lot of Google Plus.
Right, yeah.
Okay, let me ask the question again. Do we do a lot of Gmail here?
No.
Okay, good.
I'm doing one right now.
Not yet.
We use a lot more Google Plus down here. But, okay, so this is your Friday in California. Is there any questions I can answer for you?
Any questions, guys?
Does anybody
No.
ask about the Starbucks cards?
Not yet.
Okay. So we are, when are we doing graduation there? Crystal or
Stephanie would know.
Okay, so we're going to be there in the next week or two. We ordered 60 more books, so we'll have books for everybody. And does anybody have any questions?
No. The ladies in blue are still waiting for their Starbucks cards.
Didn't we just talk about that?
Uh-huh.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. See you on Monday.
Thanks, bye.
Yeah.
Abraham Maslow.
See my message I sent? I sent emails.
I like Maslow.